15. We have a quorum present in chambers. The second is approval of minutes of the May 20, 2021 meeting. They're in your packet. Go ahead, Mr. Peckham. Look good. Motion. Thank you.
Sent by Kathy.
Okay, thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye, and that passes unanimously. Discussion and possible action on financial report.
Okay, in your packet is a, am I on?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, let me see.
Here.
The master's on it.
In your packet is a revenue and expense statement through the period April 30th, 2021. There's nothing earth-shattering about anything on this statement except for the fact that we don't know what our federal and state operating assistance levels will be for 2021. The amounts that the city of Wausau will contribute to our budget are dependent on that outside funding. Normally by this time of year we would have an allocation announced. As of today, we've not received any indication as to that allocation. So we are still waiting. In terms of expenses, we are fairly close to budget. We are about 27% of budget through 33% of the year. We are spending a little more money on parts and building maintenance. That's a little over budget. But other than that, all the other expense items are about where they should be. We are still spending more than anticipated on overtime for bus operators in particular. We are currently down 5 part-time positions. And so we are kind of hair on fire at this point, wondering how we're going to staff when school starts in the fall. But sounds like it's the same everywhere, including other city departments. So we're meeting next week to have a discussion about recruitment and can we do things differently. But in terms of revenue expenses, we're right where we should be. Any questions? Any questions, Pat?
Okay.
Okay.
This doesn't need action, does it?
No,
Is it
no,
okay? This
I
is a
just-
file, because it said possible action. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you some context before we had the discussion about passenger revenue.
Perfect. All right, no questions, that will be on file, and we're going to move to discussion and possible action on passenger fare collection.
Sure. As you know, we have suspended passenger fare collection. We did so in the March of last year at the start of COVID, and we've extended that several times. This latest extension takes us through the end of August. I've provided you with an exhibit to give you some thumbnail sketch, at least, of the last year we collected revenue from August 31st or September 1st through the end of the year. The revenue collected during that period was about $124,000. I don't know if those numbers will hold. I suspect they won't. Ridership is currently down compared to then. School will be back in session. Things will be, at least somewhat back to normal. I personally would like to start collecting fares again on September 1st. We would like to get things kind of back to normal, get our route map and schedule piece recirculated and collect fares and do all the normal things that we do. It is on the agenda today because we'd like to give our outlets a heads up before we start distributing bus passes and that sort of thing.
That sounds like a sound idea, and I welcome it, and I think that's a step toward normalcy whatever that is, and I would move that we accept the recommendation to begin collecting fares September 1.
I second it, Kathy.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or discussions? If not, we'll vote. So the vote is to start fare collection September 1st. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And
Aye.
that passes as well, unanimous. Excuse me. Discussion and possible action on bus operator training.
Older Ryan, in a previous meeting, asked if I would provide, for your reference, kind of a list of training that we do. I think she had some questions about our training program, and I said, let's start with what we already do. So I've provided in your packet a description of our training program, kind of an outline, and then I also added from our new PTASP, Public Transit Agency Safety Plan, the section on training for your additional reference.
I was doing fine until I got to the abbreviation SMS, and I couldn't find any place where it was spelled out, so I'm not sure what that is.
So,
Training on SMS roles and responsibilities, blah, 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 safety-related job-related responsibilities and their role in the SMS.
Safety Management System.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions? You got some, Kathy?
Yeah, I have a question. It says dementia awareness on there. Are you trained through the, I can't think of what it's called. Were you dementia friendly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we did the entire workforce. You know, I guess the gist of it for me is that we are funded by outside agencies who are particular about how we manage safety and bus operator training. And so we have fashioned our training programs accordingly. We have the Federal Transit Administration coming in every 3 years to do an on-site inspection, and that's one of the things that they take a look at. We show them all of our materials, and then we have to show them documentation that we've completed the training that we say we're doing. And so not only do we have to provide, you know, this is what we do, we have to demonstrate that we've actually done it. And so if anyone has any questions about, you know, what we're training, you know, what, you know, the content of our training or how frequently we train, you know, I encourage you to give me a call. It is a challenge, as I've said in my memo, to do training because we can't stop operations in order to have everyone in the room. And so we tend to do so small groups at a time over multiple days. It's hard to get speakers that way, but that's how we do it. And we have, you know, a minimum of 4 in-service trainings every year for all employees. So again, if you have any questions, let me know.
I just have a comment, like Neighbor's Place, we have to go through some training that they're going through a new healthy food model, and they're going to videotape some of it and put it on Zoom. Could you do that with some of your employees, so if they couldn't make it, they could watch it and you record it that way?
Yeah, we could do that. We haven't. We have updated our, I'll use the term loosely, training facility. Our break room now has a large TV and internet access for the first time. And so we have access to a training library through our insurance carrier and other places for the first time on site. And so that has really helped us. But, you know, that technology will also assist us in recording and those sorts of things.
If you do have something you want all drivers to, that bit of training or updating that you want everybody to get, how many are you able to do at a time? Do you have to do like 3 batches of drivers?
Usually it's like
Altogether.
6 sessions, and we'll do them 4 or 5 at a time. We have to generally relieve drivers so that they can come and attend this. So we can do a larger number of, like our part-time operators, and then we have to start relieving drivers a few at a time. Part-time drivers drive, the regular drivers come and attend the course. So it does take a while, and if we have people off, that complicates matters, and we'll do another session for everybody who missed. There have been occasions where we have done, like for insurance, when we do the enrollment, HR will come down and the insurers will attend, and we'll do something after hours, and then everybody can attend if they want to, but that's on their time. So.
Any other questions? Otherwise, I guess we'll just put this on file. It's information out there now. There were questions and concerns raised, and they have some answers that they can see, our public. So thank you for that. Transit Director's Report?
The only update I have is on Google Maps or Google Transit. So we have been working with a firm called Trillium for a number of months, trying to have our system information available in Google Maps. And so we are at the stage where they've loaded our routes and our bus stop locations and our schedules. And if you go to Google Maps, either through your web browser or through the mobile app, you can see bus stop locations on the map. Last week, I had a bit of orientation and just a little bit of training on how to modify information in there. I'm not real fluent at this point, but we have over 600 some bus stops throughout our service area. And so it's going to take some time for us to go through and ensure that they're all correct. The good news is, unlike a printed map, you don't print a gazillion copies and then realize it's wrong, and then you wait until the next printing. This is all in real time. You can go in and you can modify, and then you submit it to Google for approval, and then they update it, generally within 24 hours. So it'll be nice when we're fully functional there. It's taking longer than I anticipated. I did participate in that orientation with someone from IT. IT has tried to assist us on their own in the past, and the reaction from the individual in the meetings was, this is awesome, this is worth every penny. So I'm glad we hired a firm to do this. It's happening. It's actually happening after we've talked about this for a number of years. So we hope to, the next step will be, once we've fixed whatever data needs to be fixed or approved it, they will create what's called a trip planner. So it will appear on our site, and you'll be able to enter the origin and the destination, and it will provide for you the route information. So it's not real time. You can't look at it and say, oh, the bus is right there. It's a planner in that it uses our schedule information, our route information, and it says, okay, here's how you would do it.
So you put the time in or not?
Yep, you can put in a time that you want to travel.
So if you want to get to City Hall at 4:15 and you tell them where you are, it'll tell you what to...
Right. It's just like using Google Maps if you were to be using it for your car. It will give you the route. It'll probably give you several alternative routes. In our case, it'll use our system information and give you the options that are available.
So
Question.
Yes.
Do you have to have an iPhone to use this?
No. You can use it on a desktop computer. You can use it on your iPad. Anywhere you can use Google Maps, you will have access to our system data anywhere in the world.
Okay, my other question is, will there be training for people, or how are we going to learn this? Is it just trial and error?
Well, in terms of making it known, we'll do a press release. We'll probably push it out on social media, the normal avenues.
Okay.
In terms of training, you can give me a call and I can show you how that works. I don't anticipate we're going to, it's meant to be another layer on top of Google Maps, which already exists.
Okay.
So if you've ever used Google Maps to plan a trip anywhere, whether it's walking or driving in a car, it'll be applicable to transit information for Metro Ride.
So would you start then at the Metro Ride page and then get into this?
That's the plan.
Okay.
So they will design for us something that will be on the Metro Ride portion of the city webpage.
Okay, that'll make it a lot simpler.
Yep. So when you click on route and schedule information, right up front, you'll see a trip planner.
Oh.
And so you can choose to do it yourself.
So when you print the new maps or any new material, it will have information on there about Google Maps and how they, or just a link saying if you want Google Maps, you go to Google Maps to get trip planner?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and as far as the maps, we are working on a new map project as well. As I mentioned in a previous meeting, we have a graphic artist or a graphic designer who does transit maps. I worked with a lot of graphic designers over the years that work for a printer, and they never seem to capture what I have in mind. I don't know if that's a shortcoming on my end or theirs, but the issue, I think, is they don't understand how transit works and how to portray that information in the most effective way. The guy I'm dealing with designs transit maps and other information. And so what we're trying to do is take the map and simplify it so that there's less information and so the critical information stands out. And we're trying to find a balance. The other thing that we're doing for the first time is putting all of our bus stops on the map, so that instead of the phone ringing and people saying, where's the nearest stop to, you can look at the map and see where the stop is. And as I said, we've got more than 600 bus stops between express routes and our regular routes in the city. And so we're going through route by route right now, trying to make sure they're aligned properly.
You think you're like a month out to introduce this or more?
Yeah, I would say a month out.
Cool.
It's wonderful. I just got to learn it, but it's wonderful.
Well, I'm now learning why I've been so hesitant all these years to put the bus stops on the map, because it's hard. It is really hard. And in the middle of it, we're realizing some of the changes we've made in our own map or our own bus stop database that we hadn't updated. So it's, we're updating the map and we're updating the database, and it's a healthy process, but it's very time consuming. But we're getting there. And my hope is that, as we kind of roll out of the pandemic and get back to normal, we will have better public information available, and that'll hopefully help sell our service a little easier. If ridership goes up and the phone stops ringing, we'll know we're a success.
Okay, any other questions on that? I just have one thing before adjournment. One of our members is going to be on an extended journey, good for her. And so she will be gone July and August meetings, which is fine. I just want everyone else to know that quorum is always an issue, and so I don't want people to show up here and have to pull the plug. If for any reason you cannot be here on a scheduled meeting, let Greg or I know as soon as possible before the meeting, so we can cancel it and not, have public access come in and all this, and then having to pull the plug. So that's all I ask. We're down one, so now today we just made it because we were down two, and it can happen. Greg is also going to look and make sure we have to have those summer meetings, so, watch your emails as well if we end up canceling. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn, if there's nothing else. Okay,
I make a motion to adjourn.
thank you. Well, we are so adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.